Hello everybody! Welcome back to my channel. If you do not know who I am, hi! I'm ShareCat. I'm an artist here on YouTube and I create drawing content typically. I started the sketchbook in May of 2023 and I completed around half of it in the summer of 2023. So half of the sketchbook has already been toured. If you want to watch the entire tour of the first half of the sketchbook, I have two videos on that, one with commentary and one with just flipping through the pages. If that is something that you are interested in, and I highly recommend you do check it out, I will have them linked down below for you to watch, because this is a part 2 of my sketchbook tour, because I have this much more to go through. So let us begin, shall we? This is the page that I left off on. Then this is the first page that you guys haven't seen. Over here are some drawings of whales, because I think I realized that I had been doing a lot of architecture studies and a lot of studies of like real people, but not very many studies of animals or creatures. So I decided to draw some whales, a bunch of different types of whales. This one's a narwhal, that one's a beluga, and then over here is a building that I saw on Pinterest, and I wanted to draw it because it looked very complicated, and I just kind of wanted to see if my brain could figure out how it works and how I could draw it. It's okay. I'm not like super proud of it. For what it is, I think it's pretty okay. Over on this page, this is just a bunch of pink and green doodles of Leo and Donnie from Rise of the TMNT. I think some of them are just directly referenced from the show or from my own imagination. So yeah. And over here, I wanted to do a portrait of a person with alcohol markers. So I just did that over here. It's just a picture of a girl that I saw on Pinterest, and then I used my Pilot Color Eno pencil and my alcohol marker set, and I made this portrait. Over here, I was doing some life drawing. I was sitting outside of Starbucks actually, and I was just drawing some of the architecture that I saw outside around me. This was a pretty memorable day in my life because this was the first day that I went to my new dance studio, and I got assessed on which level I should be placed in, and I was placed in level 4 out of 5, and I was so like proud of myself, and I didn't expect to be as praised in my skills as I was. Like, I felt like I was very self-conscious and like, I did so garbage, they're probably gonna like want to put me with younger people. But to my surprise, the lady who assessed me was like, you actually have really good levels and texture in your dancing, and I feel like that's something that a lot of other people don't think about, and I think you could do level 4. And I was like, really? Anyways, that's just a really memorable day to me. And I went to Starbucks because after that I went to celebrate, and I went to Starbucks. And then over here, I went to a concert, so I just drew some of the people sitting, and I drew the stage itself, and yeah. Oh, this was the last day of summer. I wanted to doodle some stuff that I had gotten into over the summer, so I drew Ahsoka, because this was when the Ahsoka show, I think, started releasing episodes. And then these are some doodles of N from Murder Drones, because N is my favorite Murder Drones character. And then I drew May and Red Sun from Lego Monkey Kid. Over here, I wanted to draw some cars, because one of the goals I had set for myself during the summer was to get better at drawing vehicles, which I completely forgot about and I didn't put into practice. So I decided to take a page and just study drawing a bunch of different vehicles. I think my favorite one would probably be this one and this one. Over here are some skeletal studies of a cat, because if you want to learn how to better understand the form of any kind of creature, studying the skeletal structure is also very important. And I don't think I did that good, because a lot of the details, if you look, they're very simplified and not really accurate, but I do think that the page turned out looking pretty cool. Over here, again, is that same overlay style where I chose different colors of pen and I just drew overlapping each other. I drew this guy that had a cat on his shoulder, and then I drew this car. I drew this little, what's it called? A Vespa. And I drew some lanterns, and I just wrote some notes. Over here is some London architecture. I drew some lampposts, a telephone box, and some old-timey Victorian castle looking architecture. And then over here are some self-portraits. I'm trying to get better at capturing people accurately to real life, like drawing realism studies that look like the person I'm drawing. These two don't really look like me, but I think this one does. So yeah, face reveal. Ooh. Over here, I wanted to draw a sink. I didn't quite get the perspective right on the sink, but I think it turned out okay. You can tell what it is when you look at it, like, oh yeah, that's a sink, you know? Over here, I drew some self-portraits of myself again. I think these two kind of look like me, kind of don't, but this one looks like me the most, I think. You know, just a little me. Over here, I tried drawing people kissing because that's really hard to draw. And yeah, it's really hard. This looks super unnatural. It looks like he's pressing his face onto her cheek. It looks awkward. And then I drew this girl here. I think she looks really, really cute. And I like this style a lot. I wish I played around with it more, but I kind of drew this and then forgot about it. But yeah. And then over here is some architecture that I saw in real life and I took pictures of, and then I later, throughout the course of a few days, I drew this page. I don't think it looks that good, but I don't practice architecture nearly as enough as I would like to be proficient at it, so yeah. Over here are some studies of girlies that I saw on Pinterest, just in black pen, red pen, blue pen, and like having them all overlap each other. I don't know. I just, that's become a staple trend in my sketchbook. And then over here, I was studying the art style of Studio Ghibli. I drew Haku over here and over here. I drew Howl and I drew Ashitaka. And I drew Howl saying Sophie. I can't even, because Howl is so overdramatic and you know, we love him for it. Over here, I used a bright orange highlighter and a blue water-based marker, and I did the study of a girl sitting at a cafe table. And over here was some more life drawing, just in black pen, of a lady and this guy eating beans. Yes, he was actually eating beans in the reference. I am not just being goofy silly. This was the actual reference, and it's so funny. Over here, I was helping my friend with a green amber project where I tried studying the actual physical anatomy of a bunny, and then I tried to like stylize that and make character designs of it. So this is some concepts I had for Heather, and then for Heather's father, and then a little picket. I don't think this is the style that he really wanted for the project because it's a little bit too cutesy Animal Crossing for the project's storytelling style that he wanted. But you know what? It's something. It's a good study to practice. And then over here, you can visibly see my lackadaisy brain rot hit like a truck because I just decided to do some studies of Ivy and Freckle, and then I kept doing that on this page, on this page of Freckle and Ivy, and then Rocky. I was just studying the style of the pilot, and then a whole page of Ivy because Ivy is my favorite lackadaisy character. I love her so much. She's amazing. And then over here, I wanted to study drawing cats. I don't think these turned out the best, but I like this one of the cat like yelling, and then this one just because, I don't know, she looks like a cute little pretty princess cat. Over here, I was studying the style of the 1920s fashion because I was working on my lackadaisy character design, and I wanted to figure out how I wanted to style my lackadaisy character. So I just drew some flapper swing dancing girlies, in 1920s fashion, you know? Don't smoke, kids. Smoking is bad. And then over here, guys, this is for study purposes. I was looking at Tracy Butler's art and I just mimicked it, where she has this piece of Freckle and Ivy and Rocky, and I decided to draw Freckle and Ivy because they are my favorite. And then a little picket in the corner. Over here, I just printed out some pictures of my digital art on my little printer thingy. I'm gonna grab it. Yeah, I have this little printer machine thingy that I printed out some of my digital artwork on, and I just taped it into my sketchbook. I drew this kind of semi-realistic 1920s looking girl, and I think it's really cute, and I like the color palette a lot. And then I drew a sunflower, but ignore the fact that I misspelled sunflower. This picture is a bunch of people on a subway, and then a fruit stand, and then I taped another thing of my digital art on top of it. This is some Victorian style clothing. I was studying that fashion era because it's very interesting. I wanted to get some practice drawing some Victorian style clothing and hair and blah 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 blah. And then I wanted to draw a picture of like someone sitting in a car, but like, I don't know, I think this page turned out kind of ugly, not gonna lie, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. Oh, these are some more green ember concepts. I played around with the idea of giving Pickett this like big cloak that throughout the series, the hypothetical season of Green Ember, that he would grow into, so it would be showing like him growing up into his role, you know? And then some more like rabbit studies. This is when I was sitting on my bed and I just drew what was around me. Like I was drawing on my sketchbook, and that was my phone and my iPad and my pencil case and my computer and my foot. Just life drawing what was in front of me. This was really fun. Over here was some facial studies that I did in black pen. I really like this one. I think this one turned out really cool looking. And then over here, I keep getting requests of like K-pop groups that I should draw, and I got a lot of requests to draw twice. So I drew twice, guys. Are you happy? I drew them. This is from their cover of Feel Special, which is one of my favorite Twice songs. So yeah. Over here, I printed out one of my artworks and I taped it in, and then I drew myself dancing, and then I drew another sink because they're really good for studying like perspective. Over here was some pen studies. This is Woozy because I think this is when Heaven came out and I was like really hyped for it, so I drew Woozy and then two girls that were on Pinterest. And then here are some drawings of myself dancing. In one of my dance classes, we learned a routine to a Beyonce song. So I decided to draw myself doing the choreography because I had a really fun time. Choreography from dance class. Beyonce, baby. I literally could not remember the choreo, but still had funsies though. That's good. Over here, some more drawings of myself dancing in class, and then here's a picture of me in class, and then this is just a picture that I had on my phone that I took of myself making a really funny face, so I decided to draw it. And then over here was some more facial studies. This one I colored with alcohol markers because the lighting of the reference was really cool, and I wanted to imitate it, even though I think the sketch itself looked kind of bad, so I redrew the face right here, and this one looks a lot more accurate to the actual person I was drawing, and then a girl and another person drinking water. Over here is a building that I saw and I took a picture of, and then I drew it with watercolor. And then over here is when all the fall leaves were like at peak color and everything was all bright and beautiful. And I saw there was this tree that was just very orange and yellow, and I wanted to capture that because it was really pretty. So I drew that tree here. Over here, this was in a video that I did where I was chatting with you guys, where I drew Tainari, Ty Lee from Avatar, and a scientist sword man. Here are some life drawings. Here's a bunch of like fall flowers, a piano, microphone, a person. And then these are some of the items I have on my desk, like my nail polish bottle, an acrylic standee, a little snowman plushie, some little figurines, my DuckTales mug, and my Donald plushie that I got at the Disney store before all the Disney stores shut down, and a little pink dice lollipop sucker that my friend gave me. So yeah. Over here is a bridge that I drew, and I wanted it to be all wobbly and like fairy tale kind of looking, and then a girl with a flute. These are both reference photos from Pinterest that I just drew with a yellow and blue color scheme. Over here, this was in my last video where I went over my current like obsessions, hyperfixations, where I just drew my character in Pokemon Violet, and I had just gotten Sylveon in the game, and I was so happy, so I drew myself with my Sylveon. I talked about that on my last video, but yeah, just a whole page dedicated to that. The sun's going down, I have to go faster. Okay, these are life drawings of two of my friends, and yeah. Oh, and a little girl like came up behind me and said, "Oh, a weird guy with a mustache," and I bursted out laughing because I was in the middle of drawing my friend, and he was like, "Yeah, you should just write that on the page that happened." So I did. And some more life drawings. I'm not as proud of these ones, but you know, this is some more life drawing of people that I saw on Pinterest. It was a group of friends sitting around a table, and I wanted to draw that picture, and then two people at a cafe. And then over here, I saw this picture on Pinterest, and it was such a cool, pretty, like simple and cute style, and I wanted to study it. And unfortunately, I couldn't find the original artist. That's legitimately one of my biggest pet peeves about Pinterest, is that people re-upload artworks without crediting the original artist. So a lot of times I find art that I really love, but I never know who drew it or where it came from, which is really sad. So if you recognize this art style and you know the artist who drew it, let me know, because I'm kind of on the hunt for them. Over here with some facial and anatomy studies, I really liked this one. I feel like it just looks really good, you know? And then over here is a picture of me, real life me, with some of the characters that really mean a lot to me, like Dewey from DuckTales, Leo from Rise, Link from The Legend of Zelda, Pavitr from Across the Spider-Verse, Haku from Spirited Away, Starfire from Teen Titans, and Ivy from Lackadaisy. Like, these are just a couple of the characters that just really mean a lot to me. Over here, I was playing with kind of this style, and I really like the style. I kind of played around with it at the beginning of the sketchbook, and then I came back to it and I was drawing it some more. So, I don't know, I was just style experimenting with this page. And then over here is my last full page of drawings. These are of Donnie, Leo from Rise. This one is referencing an artist, but the rest of these are original to me. And then these are some doodles of my OCs Marin and Bennett. I sadly didn't draw them very much in this sketchbook. And now we are on to the last page. I taped in my little note of summer goals that I created at the beginning of the sketchbook, and I just taped it on the last page, and I put a Hello Kitty sticker, and I wrote my start and end date, and I drew a little chibi me waving goodbye, and it says bye bye bye, because it's so cringe, but it's something that I say at the end of all of my videos. I don't know how that started. I don't know how that became my thing, but now I always say it, and I just wrote it here because it's somewhat poetic that I would end my sketchbook with a bye bye bye, because it's me. And then my friend gave me some Donatello and fish leg stickers and a sticker that says Ninja in Training, because I'm friends with the Ninja Turtles. I know them. And yeah, that is the very end of my sketchbook. If you did not watch part 1 of my sketchbook tour, I highly recommend you do. It has the first half of my sketchbook, so please go watch that. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my very next video, and bye bye bye.